Hello team. So we're already into September and we are essentially now on the sprint for Christmas. So as we head into the final part of the year, I would love you to explore, please, what are your key goals now for being able to sprint for Christmas, as they say. So, we're in this final chapter now where we've all had a good summer and, I hope you've had a good summer. And we've got so much going on geopolitically. There's so many different aspects of Brexit and US elections, fires across the States, plagues across Africa. We've had Lebanon blowing up, there are things. We've got all the challenges going on politically down in China. There is something going on across the planet and so many things that could actually bring us into not feeling strong and confident in ourselves and in our businesses. And so I'd love for you, please, now to take a step back. We've done this little exercise before, and it's literally look at the tops of your fingers and just open them up whilst you're still looking forward, and just feel that ability to look up and out. So following your fingers, looking up and looking out, and doing that for ourselves and our businesses. So rather than being stuck in the nitty-gritty, stuck in the weeds, as we prepare for Christmas and we prepare for the winter, is looking up and out and going, what do I want to achieve? What are my big goals? What are my big quarterly goals? Because we've now got this sprint of literally 3 and a little bit months. I've already started buying the stuff for my stockings. I'm a bit of a geek like that because it gets me all excited. We've got some of the Christmas lights out. It's only September, but we're preparing for the winter. And so I want it to be, up and out. And I want that to be light and bright and exciting. That it's not the turgid, we're missing the summer, the sun's going. No, we've had a wonderful time. Now let's celebrate and look forward to the next period that we're about to be embracing as well. So it's loving what we've just had and loving where we're going to. So from that perspective, I'd love you to explore, please, because I've always loved the idea, and it's not an idea, it's a fact, that everyone has the same amount of ideas. Not the same amount of ideas, what have I just said? They have the same amount of hours in every single solitary day. Marie Curie, Einstein, Galileo, we all have the same number of hours in the day. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. It doesn't matter what your financial, position is. We all have a few things that bring us together, and that is the paucity of time or the amount of time we have. So rather than it seeing as being time poor, you can also see it as being time abundant. So, hi guys, brilliant to see you. So I loved it. Yesterday, we actually had I was on a coaching session and someone said, Alice, that's the rule of 168. And I thought, rule of 168? Okay, that's a nice term for it. But essentially is the idea that we all have 168 hours this week and next week and the week after and every week for the rest of your life. That we have a full week, we have 168 hours. So what are you going to do with it? And by getting that clarity on where you want to be by Christmas, for you to be popping that champagne cork or that fizzy elderflower if you're a non-drinker, what is it going to be that makes you feel like you've really, really succeeded and torn apart this final quarter of the year to get what you want out of it? Like a big present, what are you going to tear apart and say, this is what I want? So I'd love you to explore. We all have the same amount of time, but what we do with it is up to us. What we do with it is where we're really, really, really going to be making a difference. And so I'd love you to explore, please, the 4 Ds. So the 4 Ds are what must you do? What must you do to get done? What can you delegate? So there are the things, say for example, I've just taken on our second lady up here, which is amazing. And so actually part for me of the last few weeks has been learning about, how can I delegate more of the kind of the light green tasks, the tasks that enable you to build the structure of a business, but don't necessarily allow you to expand in the actual money-making piece, the piece that only you can do. So what is it in your business that only you can do? So when you're looking at the 4Ds of what's going to bring us great success between now and Christmas, what is it that only you can do? So you need to be doing. What can you delegate? So what are the aspects that are actually critical, absolutely critical to getting your business going, but that you can delegate? And then from that perspective, there are always a few things. My goodness, I've got a to-do list from 2 years ago where I've still got a few things on it. But that's been things like clearing out an old laptop from 10 years ago, which actually we did start to do this week. Very exciting. This is the joy of having someone helping you. Oh, cannot tell you the excitement of being able to clear off some of my documents and pictures from 10 years ago on a laptop I've kept under the stairs, but being able to delegate it and do it so that we were able to do it quick time and double speed was just amazing. Finding whole areas of resource from my first 10 years in the army and my period at university and studies I've done in between time in my MBA. I was so relieved to find that data because I knew it was here somewhere, but I didn't know where it was. But being able to delegate it to somebody that could look at stuff with a fresh pair of eyes, not get distracted by every photo and every document that was in there was amazing. So what can you delegate? What is a really important task that you know needs doing, but that you can ask someone else to help you with? What can you delay? What don't you need to do right now? What is not going to be revenue generating? What's not going to be building your business or your career? And so actually, that's a little bit of a nice to have. Definitely want to love having it done, but it doesn't have to be done here and now. It could potentially be done, for example, an invitation to a networking meeting. I know that the next 3 weeks for me are bonsai. So very sweetly invited to a BNI meeting last night. And I just said, is it okay to do that in October? Same for a couple of podcasts. People have asked, would you be able to do speaking events for X? I looked at the piece and I thought, yes, I definitely want to do it. Do I need to do it right now? I've got the Leadership Accelerator program with the second cohort starting in October. And I thought, yes, I definitely want to do those things, but I don't need to do it in this 3-week window or this period right now. So I've been able to delay it. What can you dump? The big D. Nobody likes to be dumped. That's a bit like being at university and finding you've been dumped. That's really not a very nice thing to do. However, it is essential. Just imagine those relationships we've let go in the past, those things that we've let go of in the past that are now have enabled you to have fresh starts. For every door that closes, another one opens. So unless we enable space for that new open door to be there, how can we possibly hope to fit everything in? So there are some things, if we've only got the same amount of hours, we've all got the same amount of hours together, let's get rid of some of the things that don't serve us. Get rid of some of the things that do not serve you, that aren't building your business or building your career, aren't building revenue for you, aren't the things that really make you passionate in life, that are things that make life worth living, that when you're looking outside and it's miserable and there's people being upset and there's global chaos going on, what is it that gives you that moment of clarity of going, you know what, this is why I'm here. This is what I love. And for me, that's things like going out on the beach, seeing my first dolphin in this winter, almost coming up to autumn. So beautiful, just seeing a dolphin going over this morning. And if I hadn't taken that time out between the emails and the webinars and all the other bits and pieces that one's doing during the day, if I hadn't taken that time out, that kind of golden moment before the start of the day, I would never have seen that dolphin. And literally it was about 6 feet off the edge of the beach. Amazing. Never seen it. It was a little baby one, only had tiny little kind of the fin on the back, tiny little baby that must have been born over the last few months. But so it's looking for those golden moments too. That time with your family, the time to exercise, the time to get some headspace, and that idea of when can you look up and out? When can you take those moments to look up and out? Because if we don't look up and out, then we're just like every other hamster on the wheel. Well, we've seen what happens to a hamster on the wheel. It goes round and round and round and round and round. Then it gets exhausted. Then it eats and then it sleeps. Then it gets up the following day. Then it goes round and round and round and round and round. Then it stops, eats, sleeps. Again, stops, eats, sleeps. Do we want our lives like that? Really? I know I don't. And I genuinely don't think you guys do either. So, this sprint for Christmas, the sprint where we are popping corks across the planet, be it, like I say, from a fizzy water to a bottle of champagne, whatever your favourite thing is. What's the thing that for you, you know you will have had great success? And looking at those 4 Ds. Come on now, we've got 168 hours every single solitary week between now and Christmas and afterwards. But this is our little sprint now for Christmas. So, what can only you do? What is it that only you can do and therefore you need to be doing? What is it that you can delegate? Who do you have in your team or around you or that you can bring in? So this is my challenge at the moment, is trying to bring in the skilled individuals that I know that I need to help me with different parts of my business growth because I physically can't do it all. And then from that aspect, what can you delay? So what do you know you'd love to do, but it doesn't need to be done here and now? You could potentially do it in a few weeks' time and structure it in so that actually it takes the pressure off for the here and now. And then what is it that you can dump? What are the things you just don't need to keep on doing? So, you know, what are the tasks that things like, I was chatting to a lady the other day and, you know, she's about to go into a new executive role. And I just said, well, what is it that you can get rid of? And one of the things, just very simple, was that every Tuesday night she has as an ironing night. And I said, but when you're going into an executive role, are you going to have space? Where are you going to get your head space? And she said, oh, well, traditionally, actually, I really enjoy doing it because it helps give me brain space. Okay, that's great. But as long as that's the reason you're doing it. Then a lady walked behind her and said, oh, yeah, that's the lady that cleans my house and I trust her with everything and I absolutely adore her. I said, well, does she have time to maybe do an extra couple of hours and to do the ironing for you? And she went, oh, yeah. I said, so if that was to happen, what could you do instead? Oh, I could have book at bedtime with my son. And that it could then be an evening where we spend together. Golden, beautiful time as a family. So, so precious. So what can you remove? What can you get rid of, delegate out to somebody else that will mean that your household and your business runs well and that enables potentially for you to employ another person or for you to up the hours for somebody else so that you're back into that brilliant revenue generating space, creating the difference, ensuring that you are going to achieve your goals both professionally and personally by Christmas. So there we go. And that's why I've got my lovely green jumper on today, even though it's been a bit chilly. So, yeah, got a brand new green jumper on today because I want to make sure that we are all prepped, poised and pumping, ready to go towards Christmas time. And I know you'll go, Alice, it's only September. What are you talking about? If we aren't looking forward, we'll get stuck in the here and now. And if you tell your brain where you want it to go, it will help look at the difference between the two. It will do its gap analysis. Got a supercomputer in here, so let's not forget that. If you've told it where you want to go, it will help work out a path to get there. You don't have to worry about the how, you need to worry about the what. What do you want to achieve? So, bless you, have a wonderful, wonderful day. How long have I done? 15 minutes. Okay, we've done another 15 minutes, so probably gone a little too long. But wonderful to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Tuesday, 12:30, I'm going to keep as our regular. I'm reviewing on whether or not actually to do the Saturday one, because I think as part of this golden time, I really want to make sure that you're having uninterrupted golden time with your families and also with my own. As we go potentially into the next stage of lockdown, my mum's really wanting to make sure that she can have some one-on-one time with all of us. So I'm having to look at whether or not I too can still commit to the Saturdays. But for now, Tuesday, 12:30 UK, which is 14:30 Middle Eastern time for all of you amazing guys who are over in the Middle East and also down into Africa. So we're on the kind of 1 and the 2 hour difference for there, and Eastern time, what's that, 7:30. So, and I won't go through all of the other American time zones because you're probably still sleeping, but you can watch this later. So wonderful, wonderful to see you. Don't forget, up and out, and making sure you explore the 4 Ds. What can only you do? What can you delegate? What can you delay? And what can you delete? What can you dump? What can you get rid of? Takes some strength to do that. So put all of your tasks in little order, have an explore what's really important to you and what's going to be on your success list. Find a little one, almost forgot that. What's going to be on your success list? It's not a to-do list, it's a success list. so that every single solitary thing that's on there is going to bring you to your success between now and Christmas. Ciao for now, guys, and see you next week.